Welcome to St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Richmond, Virginia, directly across the street from Virginia State Capitol. This is an active church led by Reverend D. Wallace Adams Riley and Reverend Kate Jenkins.
We're an urban church for all people, blessed with an active congregation, enriched by our history, and focused on our mission of proclaiming the Christ in the heart of the city.
St. Paul's was named after the Apostle Paul, also known as St. Paul, who helped spread Christianity through the Roman Empire in the 1st century. He is quite possibly one of the most highly influential early Christian missionaries. St. Paul was traveling to Damascus when Jesus appeared before him in a bright light, striking him blind. His sight was restored 3 days later, when he began to preach that Jesus of Nazareth was the Jewish Messiah and the Son of God.
The church has roots back to the 19th century when it was constructed between 1812 and 1814 with designs by Robert Mills, who was also responsible for creating the Washington Monument. The parish was created as part of another church called Monumental Church. The building was built as a memorial to the 72 Richmonders, 54 women, and 18 men who died in a theater fire in 1811. One of the deceased, Richmond Governor George W. Smith, died while attempting to rescue his child.
In 1843, the Monumental Church congregation outgrew the initial building, so Reverend William Norwood and 67 church members raised funds to build a new Episcopal church that could hold at least 1,000 people, therefore becoming the largest Episcopal church in Virginia.
The leaders of the church purchased a piece of land for this new church to be located at the corner of Grace and 9th Street, across from Capitol Square. They hired a committee to visit northern cities to note the architecture of the newest and largest churches so they could decide on the design for their own church.
After visiting several churches, the committee made a wonderful discovery: the spacious St. Luke's, a large church in Philadelphia that is now known as St. Luke's in the Epiphany. The committee decided they wanted this particular style of architecture and commissioned the architect Thomas S. Stewart to create the new parish.
The new church, named St. Paul's Episcopal Church, was created with the Greek Revival style, for which it is well known today. The main part of the building looks like a temple, with columns characteristic of an ancient Greek monument. The interior is also decorated with aspects of Greek design. Beautiful stained glass windows adorn the building, most of which are over a century old. The masterpieces include images of Jesus, angels, saints, and apostles. Many well-known Richmonders and state officials belong to the St. Paul's congregation. Several notable people visited the church as well. In October of 1860, the Prince of Wales, Prince Edward VII, attended a Sunday service. St. Paul's was reputable for being the first southern meeting place of the General Convention of the Episcopal Church in 1859. The General Convention of the Episcopal Church is the primary head of American Episcopal churches. The church was also unique in the fact that it held baptisms, marriages, and funerals for both free and enslaved blacks. In 1990, St. Paul's held a prayer service for Virginia's African-American governor, L. Douglas Wilder. In 1861, Richmond became the capital of the Confederacy. During this time, St. Paul's became known as the Cathedral of the Confederacy. Parts of the church were even used as a hospital for wounded soldiers. General Robert E. Lee and Confederate President Jefferson Davis attended Sunday service, and Davis was a member of the congregation. On April 2, 1862, President Davis was at a Sunday service and received a telegram from General Lee informing him that Lee could no longer defend Richmond from the Union Army. Later that day, fires rose around Richmond, burning very close to St. Paul's, but fortunately, the church was spared from the ravaging flames. The abundance of history and architecture have made St. Paul's a well-traversed parish. The church's beautiful stained glass windows and intricate interior designs are well known to Richmonders. Surrounding the St. Paul's area are other noteworthy sites, such as the Virginia State Capitol and Supreme Court of Virginia. Thank you for viewing our presentation about St. Paul's Episcopal Church, and we hope you enjoyed your visit.